I just made a video the other day with Ashwin Welted saying one of the most important things about a new pair of shoes is whether or not you want to wear it. And I want to wear this shoe. The caveat is like, I just wish. All right, this is my newest pair of TLB Mallorca. This is a Shell Cordovan Derby, and I really enjoy it so far. I'm also conflicted, so let's talk about it. First, just to get this out of the way, I didn't pay for this pair of shoes. TLB reached out to me a few months ago, said that they really enjoy the content I create and they would love it if I would pick out a pair of shoes. They'll send it to me at no charge. I can create the content, share my opinion, my thoughts, my feedback, no strings attached. Surprise, surprise, I picked a pair of Shell Cordovan Derbies, and they have no influence on the video. They don't get to see or hear what I'm about to share with all of you before I share it with all of you. So just keep in mind, I did not pay for this, but everything that you're about to hear is my honest, unfiltered thoughts, and TLB has no influence or say in what I do or don't say and what I do or don't show. When you think of Spanish Shell Cordovan shoes, specifically like Goodyear welded shoes, TLB is not the name that comes to mind. It's really Carmina. Some say Carmina has a cult-like following when it comes to their Shell Cordovan shoes, and maybe that's the case. What I'm really interested about this is TLB Mallorca, really their Artista line is unmatched at this price point. Now that they're offering Shell Cordovan, it's really like a very interesting, price to value proposition, not just for me, but for anybody that's interested in getting a Shell Cordovan leather dress shoe. For starters, this is model 248 from the TLB Artista line. This is in Cordovan. This retails for 661 euros, which at the time of this video converts to about $716. This is also made in Rocado Shell Cordovan. Rocado is a tannery out of Tuscany, Italy. It makes Shell Cordovan. I think they've been around for about like 30 years now. Just from some of the notes and some of the research that I've done, as well as just kind of the name recognition of Rocado, they are, really one of the kind of like three main pillars of tanneries that you really think of when it comes to Shell Cordovan. It's Horween, Schinke, and then Rocado. There are many other Italian tanneries, and as well as tanneries throughout the world that make Shell Cordovan, but in my mind, the three that you think of are usually Horween, Schinke, and Rocado. Some of the specific characteristics they even call out about their Shell Cordovan is Shell Cordovan leather have the densest pore structure. You cannot spot them with the naked eye, which makes it extremely durable and naturally water resistant and stretchy. Shell Cordovan is truly rare and a unique material. It has a bright luster, a non-creasing grain character, great leather smell, and ability to develop and keep these characteristics over time. As we go through this conversation and I kind of share my observations, let's think about some comps that we should kind of have in the back of our mind to kind of put on par with what we're seeing here. Crocket Jones is the first that comes to mind. It's Goodyear welded. It's made in England, and their Pembroke model retails for $1,180. That's US dollars. Then we have Carmina, also located on the island of Mallorca in Spain, and their 531 plain toe Blucher retails for $850 US dollars. Lastly, we have Bridlin. This is a shoemaker I just discussed a couple of weeks ago. Their long wing derby retails for $599 US dollars, and that is made from Schinke Hikaku Shell Cordovan. The first two, if I didn't mention, are made from Horween Shell Cordovan. I'm going to get into the fit and the styling of this pair of shoes in a bit, but I don't want to focus too much on like the unboxing, the quality, the break-in, because TLB is a brand that we're all very familiar with, and a lot of the characteristics and the details that you're going to see in this pair of shoes is very consistent to say a calf TLB Artista shoe. This is the first pair that I ever got from the TLB Artista line, and this is a semi-broke black cap-toe Oxford with a medallion on it. I got this in a UK 7.5, and this is on their almond round toe shape blast. I forget the specific name. I'll put it kind of right over here. But When I picked this one out, I definitely wanted to get something a little bit different, and this is their newer last, which is kind of like a soft chisel, and I believe this is called the Van Gogh last. I really love both of these. They both fit equally well, both the same size, a UK 7.5, and I would say they both run true to size, no variance from model to model, leather to leather, or style to style. Some of the specific details I would love to call out about this model that I really do enjoy is this unique kind of pattern detail or punching around the facing or the lacing of the shoe. And I'll try and get like a close-up of this to show you, but I just think it's a very unique element that, you know, obviously it's kind of hard for that to go unnoticed, but, you know, it's something that not many are doing. When we kind of look up close here, it's actually in place of a stitch that you would normally see on a Blotcher or on a derby right there. Just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here is there's a seam right here that's stitched into the pattern. Right here, this isn't stitched. This is a punch, a hole punch that goes in to just give it a little more character, a little more like finesse, refinement. I really love this detail. Now, I've already mentioned that the fit is phenomenal, but I also think that this is just a very versatile color, very versatile pattern, style, last. It goes with a lot of different options, everything from my favorite, which you kind of see right here, which is denim, up to a more like semi-casual trouser, even, you know, with, I would say, like a business casual trouser. It's just a very like elegant, very subtle, refined piece of footwear that I think can really like kind of flex that like full spectrum of formality. And to be honest, like that's really important to me right now. When it comes to having this many pairs of shoes, the shoes that have a very like niche use case or wear opportunity just don't get worn at all. I really like having the pairs of shoes that when I'm ready to wear them or I want to wear them, I can wear them no matter like what it is I'm wearing. Whether it's jeans, trousers, khakis, dress slacks, doesn't matter. If I can wear the shoe that I want to wear and also wear the clothes that I want to wear, you know, that just simplifies my life. And this pair of shoes fits like right in that wheelhouse. So I'm really enjoying this. One of the other aspects that fits in with that versatility is I went with the Vibram studded outsole. Obviously, when you do a made to order through TLB, you can really do any outsole that you want. You can do, you know, their city rubber sole, a half rubber, or the JR Redenbach soles. So you can really customize it whatever you want, but you know, in suit with that versatility, kind of being able to wear the shoe whenever I want, the Vibram studded rubber outsole is just that perfect choice for me, and so far so good. On the topic of the Vibram outsole, one of the main reasons I really enjoy getting a rubber outsole these days is so that I can wear it in inclement weather. Now, I didn't intend to wear this in inclement weather, but it happened to rain one of the days that I wore these, and to be honest, they didn't fare as well as I would have hoped. Now, the leather is perfectly okay. You can see the evidence right here. The shoe looks fantastic, and all that it took to get it back to this was just letting it dry, wipe it off with a damp cloth, and then brush it for 5 or 10 minutes. Albeit when, I think back to how some of my other Shell Cordovan has reacted when I wore it in the rain. Some of the pairs from Horween definitely gets rain spots, requires a little bit of attention and care. The pair from the Shinky Tannery, it was briefly in the rain and it didn't get any spots, but it's only one experience, very minimal, and this is only one experience, so I wouldn't say it's anything to put too much stock in. But rain and Shell Cordovan, it's like one of those hot topics throughout the community, so it's definitely a notable experience that I wanted to share. But kind of take it for what it's worth and don't read into it too much, because it's one experience. Really could have been anything that would have caused that, and it was as simple as just wiping them off and then brushing them, and they looked good as new. Now to finally get to the part about like what I'm so conflicted about is TLB, specifically their Artista line, is an absolutely fantastic shoe. Arguably, well, not arguably, in my opinion, it's the best out of the main brands that you think about when you think about Mallorca, which is Carmina, TLB, and Meerman. They have some of the most elegant and refined details when it comes to their outsole stitching, their lasts, their bottom work, the overall arch support, the real leather components in the heels, the toe puffs, the leather heel stacks. Like, they do so many things right, and they do them very, very well. I can objectively say like the experience so far that I've had with the Rocado Shell Cordovan is much different than the experiences that I've had with Horween Shell Cordovan, just from the thickness, the color, the depth of the tannage, the kind of reaction of the rolls or creasing. Like, there's just some differences in how those characteristics evolve and, you know, kind of age, even very early on in the break-in process. They react a little bit differently to brushing, to using a sleeking tool like this or a deer bone. This is the Ebony Stick by Shelvage and Dapper Woodworks. Shameless plug, but had to do it. That's why I'm conflicted. Like, hands down, if this was made out of Horween Shell Cordovan and it cost $815 instead of $715 or even $915, I could easily make the case for this being the best Shell Cordovan shoe, Goodyear welded, under $1,000. Like, hands down. Like, I prefer all aspects of this to my pair of Crocket and Jones. I prefer all aspects of this to my pair of Carmina. I think this is better overall executed and designed than the pair from Bridlin. The main differentiating factor is I just prefer the Horween Shell Cordovan based on my limited experiences so far. Because really, when it comes down to Shell Cordovan from different tanneries, you know, it's easy to just make it a binary. One is better than the other. It's much more accurate and much more realistic to just say that they're different. I just made a video the other day with Ashwin Welted Wear saying one of the most important things about a new pair of shoes is whether or not you want to wear it. And I want to wear this shoe. The caveat is, like, I just wish it was actually Horween Shell Cordovan versus the Rocado Shell Cordovan. I'm sorry I didn't have a more definitive answer about the leather, but I do have an extremely definitive answer about the pair of shoes, and they're fantastic. I love them, whether I paid for them or not. I enjoy wearing them every single time that I do, and I often choose to wear these over some of the shoes that I paid for. For those of you still around that made it this far to the video, I really appreciate the support and your time. Leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are about this pair of shoes or your experience with different types of Shell Cordovan. That's how I'll know that you made it this far. I'll prioritize getting back to your comment over others. You know the deal by now. If you guys want to check out the unboxing of the pair from Bridlin that's in Shinky Shell Cordovan, I'll put that link right here. If you guys want to check out the newest episode of the Shell Cordovan podcast, where we talk about all things, wait for it, Shell Cordovan, I'll put that playlist right over there. See you soon.